The smoke of morning bread clings to the folds of your robe. You're no more than 12, a thin figure with ink-stained fingers and a shaved head glistening with sweat from morning chores. Low voices, glances like blades, you stand barefoot on the stone floor, clutching a pail of water. When the abbot finally turns to you, his voice cracks. You ask if it's a task, a mission, a punishment. Through the village where mothers gather water and boys chase goats. They stare, they whisper. Its wheels are splintered and blackened with old blood. You're pushed in. The smell inside is iron and fear. Witch's boy, he read the forbidden texts, touched the wrong bones. No one answers. The next hour blurs. You are stripped of your straw sandals, bound at the wrists with rough rope. The monks avert their eyes. Even Brother Matthew, your only friend, backs into the shadows. His silence cuts deepest. He calls your name gently, like he did when you first arrived as an orphan 6 years ago. He touches your shoulder. The monastery bell hasn't rung yet when they come. Not soldiers, worse, churchmen, hooded. Eyes like wolves, they say nothing to you. They speak to the abbot. Something else begins. They pour buckets of freezing water over you, not to clean. It's rough burlap and it stinks of mildew and vomit. It binds your arms and tightens at the neck. Your legs tremble so hard you think your bones might snap. The truth doesn't matter here, only silence or confession. Their face is hidden behind stiff white masks. One speaks Latin, you recognize it, but your mind reels too fast to understand. They shave your head again, though it was already bare. But this time they cut too deep, blood trails down your ear. You are dragged from the cloister without blessing or prayer. Your legs ache from walking. But they never let you rest. A covered cart waits at the road's bend. The kind of place built not to keep enemies out, but to keep monsters in. They call it the Tribunal of St. Aubert. But your writing is inside. Neat, trained, unmistakable. The doors shut. Outside, the church bell finally tolls, not for mass, for judgment. As the cart lurches forward, you peek through a crack. The monastery disappears behind mist and trees. A black bird follows. Your life has ended. You arrive at a fortress carved into rock. Cold and grey. The guards don't touch you kindly. You're not a monk here, not even a boy, just a case. They strip you naked in front of 4 men. You are forced to kneel in a wooden tub. Then comes the robe. Not wool, not linen. They don't feed you for 2 days. In your cell, there's no candle, no warmth, just stone and silence. On the 3rd day, they come again. Not with food. They accuse you of heresy, of copying texts that speak of devils and stars and tongues not known to men. You protest. You recite scripture. They bring ink and quill. You refuse. They beat your hands with rods. Then they bring the book. It's not yours. You want to scream, but you know it's useless. As they leave, they whisper among themselves. Purification. You crawl into the corner and weep until sleep becomes your only escape. What comes next will not be better. It will be holy, and it will be hell. They move you to a deeper part of the fortress, a hollow under the earth, where sound doesn't carry and time doesn't flow. A narrow corridor lined with cells like mouths agape. The smell of mold, sweat, and rotting hope fills your lungs. You're not alone anymore. Others whisper in the dark. Some pray, some mutter nonsense, some just stare with eyes gone empty. A boy no older than you sits in the corner of the neighboring cell. His feet are swollen, his robe stained black. He doesn't speak for 2 days. Then, one night, he tells you in a raspy breath, "They burned my brother for sneezing during Mass." The next morning, his cell is empty. You hear it through the walls, screams that shatter your spine, make you bleed from the gums from biting down to heart. There are rules here, but none are written. Don't speak unless spoken to. Don't cry. Don't look a priest in the eyes. A girl, yes. Even girls are kept here, screams during questioning. Later, the guards drag her past your cell. Her feet don't touch the ground. Frescoes of saints and bleeding martyrs, all painted with such care. Above them swings a child. They hang her in the chapel. You aren't allowed to look away. The chapel is cold and beautiful. You learn the first lesson. Truth is irrelevant. Survival is sacred. So you bow, you nod. But once, he brushes your arm in the corridor and slips a torn scrap of parchment into your sleeve. Have you seen stars move in unnatural ways? What does the serpent in Eden mean to you? You eat it slowly, like it's gold. You make your eyes blank and your voice low. The guards don't hit you as often. The priests ask for you by name. They test you with questions meant to trap. Do you believe in the devil? Learning. You answer what they want to hear. Scripture, obedience, confession. Which scribe drinks too much wine and nods off at his desk? Which guard touches the pages of heretical texts like they burn and fascinates over margins? They reward you with a slice of bread, but one mistake, a wrong word, a hesitant pause, and you could be next. There's a monk here, older, silent, blind in one eye. They call him Brother Augustine. He never speaks. He shows you how to lie without moving your lips. On it, learn when to tremble, and when not to. You burn the note in your mouth that night, chewing ash into your tongue. They force him to kneel and recite verses that aren't in the Bible. When he refuses, they bring out the wheel. This place doesn't want you to pray. It wants you to forget how. Time stops meaning anything. No sun, no moon. Just hunger and footsteps. But you change. Your limbs grow longer. Your face sharper. They start calling you the quiet one. Watch, but silently. Always silently, you answer with downcast eyes and folded hands. But inside, you're watching. You know which priest forgets to lock his cabinet. You learn their patterns, and you begin to move among them like a shadow. Brother Augustine trains you without speaking. He draws signs on the floor with dust, points to cracks in the wall where voices carry. Where they don't, one night, they make you serve during a trial. Less ragged, still rough, but cleaner, a man accused of claiming the earth is round. He's old, trembling, covered in bruises. You hold the cloth to his mouth while they break his arms. You don't flinch. After the trial, one of the senior inquisitors, Father Henry, summons you. You did well, he says. He offers you a crust of bread. Obedience is the root of all holiness. You bow. That night, you vomit in your cell. Weeks pass. Then one day, they send you to assist in the scriptorium where the forbidden texts are copied, not burned. You are to clean the inkstones, sweep the floor. You pretend not to read, but you do, and one morning, you're caught. The scribe finds you staring too long at a passage in Greek, his eyes narrow. You brace for the strike, but instead, he chuckles. Smart little heretic. He doesn't report you. Instead, he gives you a new robe. You are assigned to assist the High Recorder during official trials. It's a test, and you know what happens to those who fail. So you play the part, humble, obedient, nearly invisible. But inside, your mind sharpens, your fear dulls. A man is burned in front of you 3 days later. You do not look away. They no longer call you boy, not to your face. Now, you are Brother Elias, a name they gave you, not the one you were born with, the one that burned with your past. You serve in the inner chamber of the tribunal now, where whispers decide death, where ink condemns more surely than fire. You know when to speak and when to be silent. You prepare parchment, light candles, carry secrets between men who wear crosses of gold and smiles of rot. You are useful, and being useful here is more powerful than being holy. One night, Father Henry sends for you. He smells of clove and smoke. His fingers are red with wax. Careful, half-truths slip from his lips like honey. I want you to listen during the next confession, he says. Don't transcribe, just listen. The prisoner is a nobleman's son, accused of hiding pagan texts, tortured into confession, but clever, trying to name someone else before they name him. You watch Father Henry grow impatient. His mouth curls. After the session, in the hallway of suns and shadows, Father Henry turns to you. Then, you'll make a fine inquisitor one day. What do you think? Your throat tightens, but you answer. He's stalling. Henry stares at you a long time. The word cuts, but you nod. Power is poison here. You drink it slowly. Then the poison bites back. One dawn, Brother Augustine is found dead in his cell, strangled with his own rope. They say suicide. You know better. No note, just a coal. He was too careful, too quiet, like you. That night, a piece of charcoal appears in your cell. You eat only when the food comes from your own hands. You test the ink for acid. You count the steps in the hallway. You note who lingers too long at your door. A warning. Someone knows how far you've come. He accuses a bishop's cousin, a powerful man, political, the real one, the recorder's false confession, in his hand, and they don't like it. You sleep with one eye open, then it happens. During a trial, you see the High Recorder swap parchments, your copy of a confession, altered. Later, he orders you to burn the original, says, you saw nothing, but you didn't burn it. You hid it, larger, shackled, thin, accused of spreading forbidden psalms in the marketplace, to weep on command, to smile with a blade behind your teeth, warmer. You eat with priests now. Walk with guards behind you, not in front. Days pass, then the recorder is arrested, poison wine. You're summoned before the council, questioned, pressured. You hold your ground. You show them the parchment. They look at you differently after that. Not as a boy, not even as a monk, but as something else. A survivor, a tool, or a threat. Your cell is moved. You've learned to speak lies dressed as truth, but the cost follows. Brother Matthew, the friend from your childhood, is brought in one day. They want you to interrogate him. You stare at the boy who once shared crusts with you in the garden. He looks up, recognizes you, and smiles, not with fear, but pity. Your hand trembles as you reach for the quill. You know you'll write the confession. You always do. But tonight, the ink feels heavier than blood. You are 30 now, but your eyes are old, too old. They call you Master Elias, the youngest to sit on the tribunal circle. You wear red silk beneath your cloak, the mark of one who decides who burns and who is spared. You no longer tremble when screams echo through the halls. You sign death warrants with steady hands. You eat alone, Sacred texts, condemned texts, all the same now. You have memorized their weight. Speak rarely. Sleep in a chamber filled with scrolls. No one reads anymore. Outside. The fortress is cold stone. Inside. It is colder still. Once, you had a dream of sunlight through monastery windows, of bread warm from the oven, of Brother Matthew's laughter under olive trees. That dream no longer visits. Matthew did not survive the interrogation. Your hand wrote the words that condemned him. Your voice gave the final nod. But it was the silence afterward that killed something in you. A year later, they held a feast in your honor. You didn't go. You wondered if the devil ever begged for mercy, if anyone listened. You sat in the chapel instead, alone, beneath the painted saints. You looked up at the Archangel Michael, sword raised against a serpent. Now, novices bow to you, children with shaven heads and haunted eyes. You do not look at them long. You know what they will become, what they must become to survive. One day, a girl is brought in no more than 9, accused of chanting in her sleep. Her mother weeps, but they silence her. The child stares at you with eyes of frozen glass. You do not speak. But later, in the dark, you order her released. No one knows. You say the parchment was lost. A small crack in the stone. Years pass. The cough in your chest deepens. Blood on the linen. You do not seek healing. There is no one left to pray for you. You sit by the high window of your chamber, watching snow fall on the courtyard below. Of Matthew, of the child you spared, so quiet. You think of Brother Augustine. You wonder if any of them hated you in the end. You reach for a book, one of the forbidden ones. Open it. Let your fingers fall across ancient words. You cannot remember your birth name, but you remember the birds. You are the shadow that survived an entire faith. How they followed the cart that took you away. You are not holy, not damned, just a shadow that learned to survive. And now, finally, you are tired. The candle burns low beside you. You close your eyes. You are no longer human. And the snow keeps falling.